It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Good Easter Sunday, Mid-Michigan and beyond. And once again, good is a relative term, but we are here for the next hour with some infotainment for you. It is Press Pass here on Fox 47, and it is time to meet Team 342, Lindsey Huddleston. He is the founder of Sports Psychology Solutions, and he is a regular Thursday guest on The Drive with Jack Ebling. Lindsey, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Happy Easter to you too as well, Jack.
They say that you have to find something to stay involved, to stay busy. You're normally such a busy guy. What are you doing to stay active?
It's an excellent question. I set new goals, new things to focus on. That kind of keeps me grounded and kind of motivated. So just put new things out there to focus on.
They say you have to learn something every day. When you stop growing, you stop living. What'd you learn this week?
Wow, I learned that if I just keep my head down and keep my diet right, I won't be mad when this whole thing is lifted, and I'll be happy with what I see.
Also want to welcome Graham Couch. He is the sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal, and he is co-host of Couch and the Rube, weekday afternoons from 1 to 3 on the Spotlight Radio Network, just ahead of The Drive with Jack. How are you, Graham?
Good. I'm learning a lot less about myself, drinking a lot more, and no, I'm kidding. Things are going well. Happy Easter, Jack.
You know, one of the things as a sports columnist, I've had a little experience with this, and you can't write about sports when there are no sports. So you have to find other things to keep you occupied, and what are some of those things?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, it is, our community is really there for me to write about, whatever it is, whatever I want. We don't have another columnist right now.
Yeah.
So I can dig into any issue, be it social distancing, be it something that's going on locally, be it nationally, I can weigh in. And it really it does present a lot of opportunities for me. I think I'm going to start doing about one column a week that's outside of the sports realm, just because I've got to provide value to our company and to our community.
People always tell sports columnists, hey, just stick to sports.
Yeah.
First of all, that's impossible. Second, it's probably irresponsible. And I saw that you tweeted a column, which I thought was an excellent analysis earlier this weekend, but for some people, everything is so polarized that depending on their prism, they're not going to accept it one way or the other.
That is my fear right now, is that we're going to fracture even more than we are. And you know, it's one thing to get through 3 weeks, is small businesses struggle and a lot of things get tougher on people, that our political divides, our social divides, that's my fear. And look, that's where I'm supposed to have a voice, and I got to stand strong with what I believe in and listen to people and say what I mean and say what I think.
We'll be right back. Press Pass Fantasy Madness. We're going to take you through the championship game last Monday in Atlanta. No one in Mercedes-Benz Stadium except Kansas and Michigan State.
McLaren Health Plan is proud to sponsor Fox 47 News 7-Day Forecast. On air and online, you and your family will always be prepared.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-922-9827. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk to call. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Credit Associates now and see how much money you could save for free. Call 1-800-922-9827.
Cut the cord now with the Antenna Men. Save money year after year with an antenna system and free digital TV. The Antenna Men can enhance at-home communications. A cell booster will improve cell signal quality and increase data speeds. Call the Antenna Men 7 days a week.
Fox 47, home to the most popular comedies on TV.
Know the day's weather before you walk out the door.
Fox 47 News.
Here's to the big-hearted folks who know how to take on an even bigger job. Those who take personally the transportation of today's dreamers and tomorrow's leaders. It is said that the future belongs to those who show up. Thank you for making sure that we always do. Dean Transportation Professionals. Always someone to look up to.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. There you see the final score last Monday night, and it was quite the scene in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Kansas, the #1 overall seed in our Press Pass Fantasy Madness, held off a furious charge by the Spartans to win 80-76 in overtime. Graham, an unforgettable game, but Cassius Winston, that three-pointer to win it, looked like it was good. It rimmed in and then out.
It'll go down as one of the more disappointing moments in Michigan State basketball history, right? Cassius Winston, a chance to cement his legacy even further, to argue that he has surpassed Cleaves, or at least equaled Mateen Cleaves. And the career he had, the season he had, sometimes they don't go in, sometimes it doesn't work out. And that's where this was.
Lindsey Huddleston, you think about this Kansas team, Devon Dotson and Udoka Azubuike, as good a 1-2 punch as there is in the country, and every bit what Cassius Winston and Xavier Tillman were for Michigan State. But Tom Izzo, some very creative strategy, the Hakabuki, and you take a guy who is less than a 45% free throw shooter and you put him at the line as much as possible, and worked out. He's 7 for 18 at the line and missed the front ends of 4 1-and-1s.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it really played into Michigan State's strategy, one of the most physical teams in college basketball, for one, but it also was a self-fulfilling prophecy, because around November of last year, Coach Self talked about hoping to get Azubuike to 65%. He would even settle for 50%, but in this case, the Shakabuki did work. Kind of a little mix between Shaq and Azubuike, huh?
Graham, when you think about Kansas in control of this game most of the way, as they were in control of this tournament much of the way, but Michigan State scoring 10 of the last 12 points, including that off-balance flip by Cassius Winston. I don't know how many times we've seen those shots go up, improbable shots. That's one they needed to send it to overtime.
Yeah, and we've seen, one thing this Michigan State team had late in the year was spurtability, right? We saw their ability at Penn State late in the year, and other times to come back quickly and to score quickly on people and never to be out of it. And you sort of thought this team would have that sort of run in it.
So many moments where this could have gone either way, guys. Graham, 3 points in particular, and I wonder which of these you think was the most important. When Kansas pushed Rocket Watts out of bounds, and then that little scrum occurred in front of the Michigan State band, reminiscent of Kansas and Kansas State, and Tom Izzo goes in there and grabs Gabe Brown, reaches up, and, well, actually, he reaches way up, and grabbed him and yanked him back, and I think maybe Gabe turned his ankle a little bit on that play. And then, with less than 2 minutes to go, there's the issue at the scorer's table, and Izzo slams his fist on the scorer's table. We've seen that before. And then Bill Self comes down, and he goes full Larry Brown, gets a technical foul. That had something to do with the outcome, but maybe it was just a matter of Kansas being 1 or 2 plays better and Michigan State having 3 guys foul out.
Yeah, it didn't feel like Michigan State's night most of the night, and that's you can kind of sense it sometimes. Like they weren't quite the better team. Like they didn't quite have the things go that they needed to have go their way. I think Kansas, if these two teams play 10 times, probably wins 6, 7 of the games. Doesn't mean Michigan State's not going to win it, but they probably needed more things to go right, and enough things down the stretch did not.
Kansas was a 4.5-point favorite in this game, gentlemen, and winds up winning by 4. So if you bet the Spartans, at least they covered. But Graham, I had a chance to talk to Tom Izzo shortly after this game ended Monday night, and we're talking about the game and the season, and I think he was as proud of this team as any he's ever coached.
Yeah, no, he said that a few times lately, but this team certainly endured more than most, and endured some issues that I don't think they knew how to tackle, and they had to figure it out together, and it came together late, and I think it is a season that people will remember fondly, a group people remember fondly, a group that people will give credit for their gumption, for the resolve, and for really finding it late in the year, and just a lot of fond memories with this group. Not a little different than a year earlier where they were a beloved team in a certain way, but I think this team people empathized with.
Guys, talk about what could have been if not for COVID-19 had played out all of March in front of our eyes and spectators in the stands. But think about what would have happened if this had transpired a couple weeks earlier and we had not seen Michigan State win at Maryland. We hadn't seen these 5 wins to end the Big Ten season and the banner and senior night. Think if Cassius Winston had been deprived of that, it's something that at least they can always cherish, Lindsey.
Yeah, they can always look back on that, and unfortunately the shot didn't go in. They needed to seal that championship, but they can look back on those other accomplishments, and years from now, as they always say, they'll be able to appreciate that, and it was a job well done for the Spartans.
We can't have a national championship game without one shining moment. Written by David Barrett, written right here in East Lansing. We'll be back in just a minute with One Shining Moment 2020.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you a free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Here's to the big-hearted folks who know how to take on an even bigger job. Those who take personally the transportation of today's dreamers and tomorrow's leaders. It is said that the future belongs to those who show up. Thank you for making sure that we always do. Dean Transportation Professionals. Always someone to look up to.
Watch Mike and Molly weekdays at 4:30 on My47.
Community Mental Health Authority of Clinton, Eaton, and Ingham counties is starting a new and innovative program to help struggling families in our community. We're hiring therapeutic parents to help us.
Our therapeutic parents not only house these kids for 6 to 9 months, but they become treatment providers alongside us. You don't need any experience. We will train and support you through the whole process.
We love this program and have a lot of fun helping families. We'd love for you to join us.
At Concordia University, our students have never been satisfied with simply fitting in and doing great things, but becoming great people. Because our education focuses on who you are and who you were made to be. Creative, passionate, faithful. So you can stand apart from the crowd and live a life that is uncommon. Concordia University. Live uncommon.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for Tracking a Trophy, brought to you by the Ticket Machine at the corner of Mount Hope and Hagedorn. For the best in sports and entertainment ticketing, whenever those events resume, go to theticketmachine.com.
20 years ago, I had the honor of lifting this national championship trophy. And while Michigan State was hoping to win it again this year, the real national champions are the healthcare and frontline workers. You are heroes to all of us. You are truly our national champions, and America thanks you from the bottom of our heart.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star. In all the years, no one knows just how hard you worked. But now it shows. In one shining moment, it's all on the line. In one shining moment, they're frozen in time. But time is short, and the road is long. In the blinking of an eye, that moment's gone. And when it's done, win or lose, you always did your best. 'Cause inside you knew that in one shining moment you reached deep inside. One shining moment you knew you were alive. Feel the beat of your heart, feel the wind in your face. It's more than a contest, it's more than a win or lose, you always did your best. 'Cause inside you knew in one shining moment you reached for the sky. In one shining moment you knew, yeah. In one shining moment you're willing to try.
Tom Izzo will have another chance, gentlemen, and next year will be 21 years from the Big Ten's last national championship in basketball. Funny, it was 21 years ago that Michigan State would have won, and 21 years before that, that Michigan State won for the first time. So maybe there's something about every 21 years. But Lindsay, we can hypothesize about Press Pass Fantasy Madness and who might have wound up as the featured performer in one shining moment. But it's great to see people recognized who would not otherwise get that, people who give it their best shot every single shift.
I'm amazed, Jack. Normally when you hear that beautiful song play, you get the emotions of watching a college championship being won. But I'm looking at that and I'm moved by seeing those medical workers that we haven't been able to see in a great amount because it's such a hidden situation that's going on. So to Coach Izzo for what he did, also to Coach Mel Tucker buying dinner for many of the medical health care workers in the mid-Michigan area are great things. And I think the coaches are being great leaders, and hats off to all the medical workers out there being the true heroes of this season.
Graham, we're always looking for silver linings. That's hard to find when you've got a scourge, more than 110,000 deaths worldwide, more than 22,000 at the moment here in the United States. But maybe we're getting an appreciation for some new people.
Yeah, you know, we've had this happen before. 9/11 with the firefighters and first responders. We've had very military appreciation in the years that have followed with the different wars we've been involved in. And so maybe we do get there. Maybe this is another thing, and we've held on to those. So I think everybody who serves, teachers beyond that, should be appreciated. Maybe we start to do that a little more as well.
Life is a team sport, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time we prove that. We've been doing a pretty good job of that. We need to keep it up. We'll be right back on Press Pass.
At Sparrow, we're busy caring for our community, just as we've done for nearly 125 years. We're grateful to those who have stepped up in so many ways during this challenge. Please visit sparrowfoundation.org to see our wish list of needed items, find the location and hours of our drop-off site, or make a financial gift to help defray the cost of the response effort. If you are able, call 517-253-6144 or email foundation@sparrow.org. Generosity heals.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Right along with Chicago PD, weeknights at 6 on My 47.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos. At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin to the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Transportation. Dean is hiring caring and dependable people as school bus drivers in many Michigan markets. Be a hero in your community and safely transport children to and from school with Dean. For more information and to apply, visit deantransportation.com/jobs. That's deantransportation.com/jobs. There you see a list of Big Ten players who have submitted their names into the NBA draft. Lindsay, I heard from another Big Ten coach outside the state of Michigan that last year there were 219 players looked into the NBA draft. That's how many initially thought they were going to be pros. 60 kept their names in the draft, and just 15 were selected in the 2 rounds. What does that say?
Says the NBA is no joke. I try to tell my clients I work with, I'm not a dream killer, I'm a dream clarifier. And the reality is, for the NBA, if you can't shoot, rebound, or defend, or be something special, and maybe be 6'5 plus, there's no place for you. So people need to work on their game and realize that even though it's your dream from childhood, it may not necessarily be your reality, because the NBA is the best of the best of the best.
Graham, even of those who kept their names in the draft, 3 out of 4 were not picked. Didn't mean they didn't have careers in basketball. Some of them found their way into the G League or had good careers overseas, but everyone dreams of being in the NBA. You see guys when they come to college, doesn't work out that way for very many of them.
No, and you got to be able to do something special. And it's not necessarily scoring. In fact, scoring is the worst thing you can do, because so many guys can score, it's hard to stand out, right? You're not going to be the next Damian Lillard, right? Damian Lillard. I mean, I think that's why Xavier Tillman has such a shot. He does something different that people are going to respect. I like Oturu. I like his chances. I like Jalen Smith. I think those 3 guys are making good decisions and probably will be drafted.
Graham, as we look at Big Ten players who are entering or have entered the transfer portal, what surprises you and how do you feel about this concept? Some like it, some hate it, that players would have immediate eligibility if they are non-graduates.
Yeah, I think it's Alan Griffin from Illinois. I think they have something going there a little bit, going to Syracuse. I think that's the one that surprised me. You know, I can see where different guys are unhappy with their roles. Grad transfers, I totally agree with being able to play immediately. I don't like the transfer rule necessarily. Here's the problem with the transfer rule if you don't have to sit out. It's probably the right thing to do. It's probably right that these guys don't have to sit out. It's just not right for them. And there's a difference. The dumb decisions you make at that age, especially if you've got some moron uncle in your ear or something like that, most of these guys are going to make decisions they regret, and maybe that's just part of life. But it ain't going to be good for them. It ain't going to be good for college basketball.
Some guys at age 19, frankly, have to be protected from themselves until they can make a little better decision. It's not that they can't transfer. It's just that if they do, we're not changing the rules as Ward Manuel, Michigan Director of Athletics, wants, and give everybody a one-time exemption to play immediately. Graham, in this business, in radio and television, there's a non-compete clause. It's in every contract and says that if you are no longer working for that employer, you can't work for any employer in the market. And that's not only true if you quit and want to move to a better job. Even if you get fired, you can't work for another employer, which I think is patently unfair. But this is a version of a non-compete for players, and I wouldn't mind seeing something similar for coaches. If they decide to leave with multiple years on their contract, they have to sit out a year. I guess you could say that the buyout serves as a financial version of that, but there's a way too much movement, and I think that it affects players. And when coaches move, now you got players playing for guys who didn't recruit them, maybe in a different system. As we look at possible Michigan State lineup for next year, Graham, and the players that Tom Izzo could be coaching, anybody else you see coming and going, and how do you think that might work out?
I do think they will add a guard but getting that guard is going to be interesting. And I think it's harder with a big man because you don't know exactly what Xavier Tillman's going to do. There's a lot of guys there. I mean, are you better than Marcus Bingham Jr.? Do you know that? Do you know you're better than what Julius Marble is going to develop into? I think the guard situation is also interesting because what you don't know is a guy like Joshua Langford.
Right.
Joshua Langford comes back. He's probably going to be a starter if he's healthy. Yeah. What's that mean? Rocket Watts is your point guard. And so if you're a grad transfer, you're a kid who wants to come in and play immediately, and I don't know if a true freshman is really the answer for a team that has a chance to be really good. So I think they will add a guard. It's finding the right grad transfer who understands that their role may not be entirely to be featured.
Besides the grad transfer pool, gentlemen, there is still a five-star guard out there. Kareem Mané in Quebec. Tom Izzo's made multiple trips up to see him. And I thought maybe he was going to wind up at Marquette, but maybe not now. Michigan State has made up a lot of ground, and if he does come to Michigan State, maybe just on faith without seeing what he would need to see on a normal campus visit, he's going to be in the playing group somewhere.
Yeah, it'd be a great opportunity to be able to bring him in. Michigan State is a beautiful campus with his students on, but even without. So good luck to Tom Izzo and that great recruiting that he does.
When we get back, we're going to talk Michigan State football. Up next, Mel Tucker and his staff hard at work bringing new players. 3 this week. We'll be right back.
In a time when we can't all gather around a table, we can still come together as a community. We're Open Mid-Michigan is a partnership between Fox 47 and our local restaurants and businesses with one goal, getting them through this tough time. Each day, we'll help shine a light on the businesses that make up our community and help to create the soul of our neighborhoods. We will tell their stories, rally around those who are keeping the grills going, the hospitals running, and the businesses operating. Fox 47 is committed to bringing you those stories and giving our local businesses a voice in our newscasts, on our website, mobile app, and social media sites. If you're a business supporting our community, we want to hear from you. Please go to fox47news.com/open to submit your video or comments and let us know how your business or organization is evolving to support all of us so that we can better support you. As you find ways to support your local business, share your photos and stories with us at #We'reOpenMidMichigan. Because now, more than ever, we all need to be open. Open to new ways of thinking, open to new ways of gathering, and open to new ways of supporting each other.
Nobody can read between the lines.
I like people to be honest, not stupid.
Like Judge Judy.
I still love this job.
Weekdays at 4 on Fox 47.
Join football's Watt Brothers for the game of Ultimate Tag Wednesday, May 20th on Fox.
Feeling overwhelmed by the thought of saving for your child's future education? Save with confidence with MET, Michigan's only $5.29 prepaid college tuition program. Take a simple step towards saving today at setwithmet.com.
At Jets Pizza, we've added contactless delivery upon request and curbside pickup at participating locations. So go ahead and place your order. We'll deliver it safely to your door or straight to your car. Jets, better because it has to be.
Have you heard? Tempur-Pedic sleep is better sleep.
With innovative memory foam developed by NASA, Tempur-Pedic mattresses reduce motion transfer,
Which means less tossing and turning so you can sleep undisturbed through the night.
but which Tempur-Pedic is right for you? Come to Denver Mattress and test for yourself.
Let our expert sales staff guide you to your perfect Tempur-Pedic. And right now, get a free Furniture Row gift certificate when you purchase any Tempur-Pedic.
Shop Denver Mattress today, your Tempur-Pedic elite retailer.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan on West Grand River and Okemos. With 106 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you, as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. For a new or used vehicle, when the time is right, go Graf. There you see a look at Mel Tucker's staff for year 1 at Michigan State. And, of course, 2 coordinators, 8 position coaches, and a strength and conditioning coach. Graham Couch, which 2 members of this new staff are we going to be talking about 1 year from now?
I think it'll be Chris Kepelovic and Scotty Hazelton, because you look at those 2. Obviously Kepelovic is the offensive line coach, and the offensive line, when you look at the downturn of Michigan State football that began it, that everything is just sort of festered from there, and getting that group to be a Big Ten level offensive line, an upper tier offensive line, is really the key to, I think, getting the program back in the right direction. And defensively, you've got a young group that's going into a bit of a new defense, and the coordinators always get a ton of grief or glory, and I think watching him and how he gets the most out of that group will be really interesting.
I think this staff is a little better than I envisioned it would be with the late start, able to put things together and get a couple of the best coaches, if not the 2 best coaches, from Mark D'Antonio's last staff, and then adding the people he trusted the most from Colorado, but also going other places and, getting people, Ted Gilmore and Chris Kepelovic obviously was with him before, but I think that we saw Chris Kepelovic's impact when Ethan Boyd from East Lansing said that, hey, his bond with this new coach had something to do with him not going to Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's huge. You talk about those relationships with the coaches, hitting the ground running, and building those type of long-term relationships to get those big picks. It's huge. But to Graham's point, I think the people he mentioned will be the ones who will get highlighted, and that's what they're going to focus on to move the MSU program forward.
After 3.5 seasons as a starter, Lindsey, it is time for Brian Lewerke to move on, Mr. Big Hands, in the NFL draft, and I see him ranked somewhere around 8, 10, 11 among quarterback prospects, generally just ahead of Shea Patterson. But what do you make of this quarterback competition? 4 scholarship quarterbacks going to be on campus. Rocky Lombardi has a little bit of experience, but not a lot. Theo Day, just got to look at who he was. Peyton Thorne, none, and Noah Kim coming in, doesn't know where the library is. So as you look at these 4 guys, how do you see this playing out?
I think it's going to be wide open. We did see a little bit of Rocky Lombardi last season. We were out there, but the one thing we can't see is the heart of the other 3 players. How are they working out during this downtime? What do they really want to make happen? And I think Coach Mel Tucker is going to be wide open, saying, hey, this is an empty blank canvas. Any opportunity you want to play in the masterpiece is there for you, and you may see someone stepping up we didn't expect.
So how does the loss of on-campus preparation and the lack of a spring practice impact this whole thing? Is that a bigger advantage for Rocky Lombardi? Because at least he has called plays in the huddle.
Slightly, but I wouldn't say completely, because again, you don't know what's in the hearts and mind of these other young men. Yeah. It's equal for everyone. Who's working out in the off season, who's really putting in work, and who has that hunger going forward. And I don't think we'll be able to see that until we get some spring or delayed practice going.
And to talk to Lindsey's point, who really fits what they want to do?
Yeah.
I think Rocky Lombardi, the incumbent, so to speak, even though he wasn't a starter, the guy who's played the most, would be helped by a previous regime being there. When you get a new regime, it's certainly wide open. It's everybody gets to look.
Graham, if you could see each of these guys for a couple of hours, or you had a camera where you could just be a fly on the wall and watch them work out and prepare, what would you most want to see?
Well, the hardest thing to do is I want to see what they look like in live action.
Yeah.
I want to, because you saw a guy like Messiah DeWeaver who was terrific in 7-on-7. That's the reason he was a 4-star kid. But when they got him in practice, when they got him with live action football, he wasn't nearly the same player.
Yeah.
So I want to see what these guys do when things go wrong. I want to see how they follow the reads. It's very hard in workouts. I don't think you can see it.
Darryl Rogers, when he came in 1976, wanted to see who could throw the best pass. Had guys line up and they played catch. And after about 10 minutes, he pointed to Ed Smith, the least imposing guy of the bunch, and said, "That's my quarterback." Jay Johnson has a different idea. He says he wants a CEO. He wants to see who can run things and really manage the whole thing. But as far as bringing in new players, Graham, there's a transfer punter, Mitchell Crawford, have to forgive him for his last name. He's coming in from UTEP. And now the first 3 high school players to commit to Michigan State. What do you make of this group?
Well, I think the Ethan Boyd was big because, first of all, the offensive line, again, is what you're trying to fix.
Yeah.
Local kid. You don't want to miss on local kids. And a kid who was probably maybe going to Cincinnati, the type of player you'd been losing.
Yeah.
And so that speaks to an improvement right there. I think Gabe Neely's interesting. Big, rangy safety out of Florida, an area they need to be able to recruit. I think that one stands out to me as well.
And he has been a high school corner, and I asked Harlan Barnett about this yesterday. He said, no, he is a corner. They want a big corner who can match up with big receivers. We'll be right back in just a minute. Talk about Al Caleb.
Whether your insurance need is for business, farm and agriculture, or protecting your home and auto, experience the benefit of a local agent who cares about you with the David Chapman Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. Visit davidchapmanagency.com.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else. Peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Get out in the fresh air and start planning for spring. Make Lansing Gardens your #1 choice for fresh produce, seeds, and a great selection of farming and garden supplies. Avoid the crowds and visit Lansing Gardens, helping gardens bloom for over 100 years.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go.
Welcome to the show where it's not good enough to be good, because you have to be absolutely perfect. It's kind of addicting because it's a game everybody can play, but very few people can win. Here's how it works. Each tower has 3 questions for a total of 12. Get them all right in 5 minutes. You move on to the Circle of Samurai and a chance to win $100,000.
It's the ultimate obstacle course for the mind. 12 seemingly easy questions
List these 3-letter animals in alphabetical order
that must be answered within 5 minutes.
Handmaid's Tale, lock it in! Bookworm, lock it in!
Everyone, meet Ava. This arena is among the most expensive and technologically complex sets that's ever been designed for a competition series.
I'm talking to Rob Lowe.
And you're talking to me. I'm a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment.
You really are.
It's fascinating to watch people have to make that instant calculation between being right and being fast.
What action character is represented by these images?
Ram, ribbon, ram gift, ram box, Rambo! Yes!
And when people put it all together, it's unbelievable.
Mental Samurai, Thursday on Fox, or watch the entire season anytime on Fox Now or Hulu.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. That's why I'm there every week, and will be for the area's best takeout till my favorite stop is open for dining again.
Al Kaline was a model of consistency who excelled with minimum fanfare. Over 22 seasons, the quiet, durable Tiger outfielder accumulated 3,007 hits, 399 home runs, and a .297 lifetime batting average. He also won 10 Gold Gloves and was selected to 18 All-Star teams. Mr. Tiger won the batting title in 1955, hitting .340 at the age of 20. His reputation as a clutch performer was enhanced by his .379 batting average against the Cardinals in the 1968 World Series. Kaline was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1980.
That video is from the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, and the word to describe Al Kaline that Tim Kurkjian of ESPN used was elegant. And I think that's pretty good. Lindsay, you're a native Detroiter. How do you explain the bond between one player and one city his whole career in Detroit?
Oh, it's definitely a bond. I can remember as a youngster going to Tiger Stadium and almost catching a fly ball, but just having that experience of being there. But you always equated Al Kaline with Detroit greatness. And then when you move on over to the upgraded Comerica Park, Kaline's Corner and all that, you kept seeing the memorabilia, and just people always held him in the highest regard. So when you say elegant, that was consistent through and through.
How old are you?
I'm a whole 43.
Well, Al Kaline lived and worked in the city of Detroit for 67 years. Think about that.
That's amazing.
Came at age 18 from Baltimore, and that is where he stayed. Graham, one man, one team, and virtually no negative reactions over 22 seasons. What does that say about his consistency?
Well, it's incredible because nobody you talk to about him and nobody who wrote about him, everybody who had contact with him had a positive story. That just doesn't happen. I mean, if you talk to people who've talked to me and had contact with me over the last 20 years, about 30% of them think I'm just a complete ass, right? And so, and I may be a nice guy overall, but you just won't find anybody who said anything negative about Al Kaline. And I think back to my youth watching him and George Kell do the television broadcasts, and his voice, and I mean, he to me was the authority on the Detroit Tigers. And I never saw him play live. I knew the legend, but I equated him as Mr. Tiger from a very early age. But I think that's incredible. When there are very few people you run across in life that everybody they meet, they leave with a positive experience. And it's how you make people feel, right? That's what matters in life. It's not your riches. It's not what you leave them financially. When people think of you, how did you make them feel? And I think that's his legacy.
I had a chance to do a book, Tales from the Detroit Tigers Dugout, in 2006, and got a chance to spend 4 hours with Al Kaline the last day of the regular season. But before that, I'm talking to everybody about him, Mr. Tiger, right? And I asked Brooks Robinson what he thought about Kaline. He said he was as good a fielder as he ever saw at any position. And the way he would go into the right field corner, they actually had to reconfigure the corner there, Graham, because he would go flying in there and he'd be hurting himself. So they had to redesign the seats so he could make that pickup, whirl, and throw and get guys out at second base. But that's pretty much the way he played for all 22 years, 3,007 hits, first ballot Hall of Famer. He had 399 home runs, number 400 was washed out. And I guess the most fitting tribute you're going to hear from another icon, Ernie Harwell, about Al Kaline.
And now, fans, representing more than the 1,300 players who have worn the uniform, I introduce to the man who embodies the spirit of the old English day. If any player defined the spirit of the Tigers over the second half of the century, it was number 6. One of only 3 players to play 20 seasons in a Detroit uniform. He was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1980 after hitting more than 308 times, winning the batting title with a .340 average, and delivering 3,007 hits. My honor to introduce a man of great talent and even greater class, Al Kaline.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
You and me can always be family.
The final season of Empire continues Tuesday on Fox. Here's to the big-hearted folks who know how to take on an even bigger job. Those who take personally the transportation of today's dreamers and tomorrow's leaders. It is said that the future belongs to those who show up. Thank you for making sure that we always do. Dean Transportation Professionals. Always someone to look up to.
In a time when we can't all gather around a table, we can still come together as a community. We're Open Mid-Michigan is a partnership between Fox 47 and our local restaurants and businesses with one goal: getting them through this tough time.
Every day, we will help shine a light on the businesses that make up our community. We'll tell their stories, rally around those who are keeping the grills going and the businesses operating. Fox 47 is committed to bringing you those stories and giving our local businesses a voice in our newscasts, on our website, mobile app, and social media sites.
If you're a business supporting our community, we want to hear from you. Please go to fox47news.com/open to submit your video or comments and let us know how your business or organization is evolving. As you find ways to support your local businesses, share your photos and stories with us at #We'reOpenMidMichigan. Because now, more than ever, we all need to be open.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for another Law of the Jungle segment brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. There you see a post, and I thought it was funny, if you can read it, talking about the proper distance that we are supposed to maintain space. What is 10 feet? It's a difference between the average Bears receiver and where Mitchell Trubisky's passes usually wind up. Graham Couch, you went to school in Chicago. You know a little bit about the fans there. And if the Bears can trade 3 draft picks to move up from number 3 overall to number 2 to take a scatter-armed quarterback, what are the chances that the Lions can figure out a way to mess up the number 3 overall pick?
I always have faith the Lions can mess up a draft pick. This seems like a place where you shouldn't be able to, though, because at worst, it's Jeff Okudah from Ohio State, who looks like a can't-miss corner if he's healthy, right? Yeah. And so that I'm good with that pick. But you are in a position of strength. If you can get the Dolphins, per se, or somebody like that, somebody team with multiple first-round picks, or move down slightly and pick up a first-round pick and a second, whatever it may be, if people start to get desperate when they start to think about Tua, you might be able to get something great out of this. I don't know that the Lions should take Tua. I'm like everybody. I'm intrigued by the idea that he may be the next great one. Right. And it'll drive me nuts if he was there and they don't take him for years to come and he's great. And so if they did take him, I would be okay with it too. But it doesn't seem like the right move or the logical move, given that the Lions probably need to win now with their coach and their GM.
Lindsay, you were here last week with Tom Crawford, and we took a look at a very acrobatic workout from Kenny Willekes. When you see what he has done, what matters? That he went from walk-on to captain, that he was Michigan State's all-time leader in tackles for losses, or that he has a workout where he can do all of these flips and showing his mobility, his flexibility, and he looks like a member of the U.S. men's gymnastics team heavyweight division. But the things that he can do and the things that he showed at the Combine, I saw one list the other day, I couldn't believe it. They have Kenny Willekes as the 18th most likely prospect to make a Pro Bowl team at some point in his career.
Wow, that says a great amount about him, but I would say I'm more impressed with him going from being obscure and a walk-on and taking on the leadership role. If I was advising an NFL team, I would say watch out for the kid who can overcome adversity. Because in the NFL, everyone can put up numbers, everyone can be future Pro Bowlers. That's nothing to just, thumb your nose at, but it's overcoming adversity, which is the most important thing. I would be most impressed with that.
Graham, we're going to have Joe Bacci Jr. on the Drive with Jack tomorrow at 4:05. And suddenly, there are teams showing a lot of interest in him, including one AFC team that thinks he might be the sleeper of the draft, could come in and play inside linebacker for them. When you look at his consistent production for 3+ years, and then you look at the way that things ended for him, how do you evaluate Joe Bacci Jr.?
If I'm an NFL team, I really don't care how things ended all that much. I mean, I got a couple questions for him, but otherwise, what I see in him, and this is why I think he is an intriguing NFL prospect, is he's a playmaker, an athletic playmaker from the middle linebacker position. Now, is he prototypical size? I don't know, but what I do know is in terms of the combination of sort of the cerebral nature of the game, athleticism, and all that stuff, he had an unbelievable package. He was a playmaker from that position. I think he'll stick in the NFL.
And hey, his 40 time, 4.67, that was very respectable for 230 pounds, and he had 26 reps on the bench. That was ahead of some defensive linemen. So from that standpoint, he certainly didn't hurt himself. And we'll talk with Joe tomorrow afternoon. We'll be right back with our Cool and Smooth segment, all of our weekly awards, and a tribute to the city of Detroit. Up next.
Hey there, I'm Will Arnett, and I'm on the set of Lego Masters, a new show that I'm hosting for Fox. They said, do you have any Lego? And I said, yeah, I have just a boatload of it. And they said, bring it. And we decided to make a TV show about it. That seems like a lie. I think the competitors get stoned to death with Lego. I don't know how it works. I haven't read the rule book yet. It's death by Lego. Lego Masters is really about people who are really passionate about building Lego. We're putting them through a series of challenges to see if they have what it takes to become a Lego Master. They're technically hostages, that seems so aggressive. But it's gonna be fun. So one of the first challenge we have is a Lego colonoscopy, I think, or did that get cut? That got cut? Okay, I'm glad that got cut. Well, you're upset, I'm upset. On paper, the winner is the person who creates the best builds, but the truth is, if they're smart, I got an account set up in the Caymans, and I can make it happen. You win it by being the best at Lego.
Lego Masters, Wednesdays on Fox.
Not knowing is part of the fun.
Not knowing is part of the fun. Was that the motto of your community college?
Get burned by Sheldon on The Big Bang Theory.
Weeknights at 6, 7, and 11 on Fox 47.
Does learning a language feel like this?
No habla español?
Hablo.
It's hablo?
Yes.
It's hablo.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
Since my husband is from Guatemala, I'll apply what I've learned in the Babbel app to our real-life situations.
The app is so easy to use and it's so practical. It helps you learn things that you will actually need.
Hoy es miércoles y el clima está muy bueno afuera.
Language for life. Go to babbel.com and try for free.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious Butterburgers and premium frozen custard. Swing through any Culver's drive-thru and grab your fresh favorites. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious.
It feels unnatural to not be in motion. For the city built on 4 wheels to stand still. But these vacant streets, empty stadiums, are not signs of our retreat, but of our resolve. This is not us sitting out the fight. This is us winning it. our fist doesn't need to move to have strength. If he were alive today, even Henry himself would have put it in park. So take this isolation as a sign of our togetherness, as we take care of ourselves and the ones close. Because although it's time for America's motor to stop, we're coming back with all 8 cylinders. Because here, we don't stop in the name of fear. Here, we stop in the name of love.
I love that line. If he were alive today, even Henry would put it in park. Talking about the city of Detroit, its proud history, and how difficult it is for a bunch of doers to do nothing, but that's where we are right now, and that's what we have to live with. All right. Team 342 has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week. Lindsey Huddleston, what do you have for a play of the week?
Play of the week goes to MSU head coach Mel Tucker, not for just getting his first recruit, but it's his second recruit that's very important. Ethan Boyd out of East Lansing, right in the Michigan State backyard. It says a lot that he can get a guy that's close, who probably been looked past on past administrations. He got him, he can keep him and move and build on the good things for Michigan State Spartans.
And I'm not sure that's his best play of the week. What about buying all those meals for those hospital workers?
He's doing good. He's batting 1,000 right now.
Off to a pretty good start. Graham Couch, what do you have for our team of the week?
You could go with Michigan State football, and I like the points that Lindsey made there, because I do think this was a big week for them. A big part of what Mel Tucker is supposedly going to bring to Michigan State is a re-energized recruiting template and to get into Detroit and get into Florida and beat Cincinnati and places like that for that fringe 3-star, 4-star kid. And you saw all that happen this week. So I thought that was big. But I'm going to make all of us the team of the week. And I'm nervous about us. I can see the fracturing starting.
Yeah.
I can see as the stay-at-home order gets extended that people aren't feeling so good about this. There are small business owners that are reacting emotionally, and I get that, and I don't pretend to completely understand everything everybody's going through. I'm pretty lucky in that sense. But we got to somehow stay together through this. And right now we're the team of the week, and we got to try and keep it that way.
Very well said. For our player of the week, I have to give a final shout out to Al Kaline, and Fred Heumann and I were talking the other day. We got something in the works. It's called 6 for 6. The idea is that all the masses, the fans, who could spend what they pay for a burger or a cup of coffee for a card, something that symbolizes what Al Kaline meant to them. And we hope that the Tigers will embrace this and at some point raise a ton of money for Catch, Sparky Anderson's charity for Children's Hospital. So that's something we're working on moving forward in tribute to Al Kaline. Following up on what Graham said and talk about the masses, the player of the week, it's you. Not you. You weren't good this week. You went out and didn't respect social distancing. But for everyone else who's putting up with this too shall pass. And the idea is that as many people in your neighborhood are there when it's all said and done, and we're back stronger than ever. I want to thank Lindsey Huddleston, Sports Psychology Solutions, Graham Couch, Lansing State Journal. See you next week.